Speaking of following that, Kuba, you're up next
Yeah, I'm up.
uh, to talk about more message sending fun.
Yeah, message sending fun. Let's call it that. So yeah, so last week I roughly showed this flow, which was roughly because it of course didn't work due to demo effect. But yeah, I want to send a message. There's a whole bunch of like parameters set to replicate, like, because I'm running it on DevNet, to replicate base fee being high and like your max fee not allowing higher base fee. So yeah, I tried to send a message, and normally it would just send a message and wouldn't tell you anything that your message is not going through. Probably never. And now it tells me, oh, like this message. One, I have insufficient balance for this message because I'm trying to send 100 fill, even though I have exactly 100 fill in this account. And secondly, my gas fee cap is less than the base fee. And secondly, there is a message in my mempool which can I hide this? Yes, I can. Which already has insufficient balance. But yeah, let's say I want to, even though I want to move forward, but I want to solve the issue of the gas fee cap. So I can press enter or type in yes or y, and it will show me, allow me to adjust the fee cap, and I can press plus or minus to adjust the fee cap. I can press S to use like suggested fee cap, and also I can just enter a fee cap I want to fee cap maximum fee I want to use, and it tells me like, okay, so I'm entering current maximum fee, which is like the maximum fee I'm willing to pay for this message. And yeah, and tells me like what the current base fee is and what my resulting fee cap is. So yeah, that's the start of it, and then I can either exit with escape or control C or confirm with enter. And because there are some other checks that are still failing, it asks me for confirmation whether I really want to send this message, and I tell it yes, and I send this message. But now this message is blocking my mempool. Let's say I sent 10 messages after that, and I want to resolve the problems. So, or we can just send a message that won't be blocking, and yeah, let's do that. So now I will send like a normal message that would go through if that previous message wasn't here. Uh, I still get an insufficient balance because the previous messages have caused this message to have insufficient balance because I'm sending 100 Filecoin, even though in my account I have 500 Filecoin. That will tell it to go through. And then now I can open Lotus Sample Manage. I see a list of all my addresses. I was using this one. And I now see all the messages that are sitting in my mempool. I have no miner running, so it's easier for me to gather more messages in mempool. Otherwise, they would go through until blocked. And I can see, okay, this message has a failing check. So let's check it out. And it tells me, oh, it has insufficient balance. Okay, so like the simplest way to solve it would be to replace this message. Let's say I made a mistake and I want to just remove this message. And I can tell it to do so by pressing N. I just tell it to replace the message with no operation message, which is a very small message that's going to send 0 Filecoin to T099. And yeah, it asks me if I want to confirm this message. I can tell it yes, and it replaced it. As you can see, the message now goes, instead of to the address ending in NNQ, it goes to T099. And I can do the same with this message. So I can replace this message with no up. And now the last message is okay because it's unblocked now. And yeah, I can also reprise messages using the same UI we saw during sending process. I can also apply on messages in this flow. So yeah, I can increase, or let's say this message is super important to me and I want to spend currently $20 on it. I can do so. And we can see that, yeah, its fee cap is super high. I should probably display the max fee on it, but yeah. So that's roughly it from message management. So yeah, this also is also integrated currently into all multisig commands. So if you're using multisig, you will encounter the same, oh, your message has some issues flow. In future, it will be implemented in markets, which means topping up your markets account to make storage deals and payment channels. But currently, they are handled very differently. So we didn't do that yet. Maybe in a follow-up. Yeah, any questions?
Yeah, can you confirm that the IZZ message actually landed on chain? Because that's kind of your success metric here, right? Is you removed the blocker.
Which one?
The last one. You had it there on the screen.
Yeah, I can guarantee if you started miner, it would land right now.
Oh, you're not actually running on mine. Makes sense.
Yeah, I'm not running a miner.
Yeah. How much work was this?
A bit. Like the UI itself, like designing the UI, doing the UI wasn't the hardest part. Like the big part was writing the checks, which in big part Visa wrote. But then integrating the UI with Lotus and then agreeing Lotus to work with the UI and agreeing with our CLI to work with the UI was a bit of a hill to climb. But yeah. Jennifer, just to respond to you, I could. It's cheaper to send it to T099. So yeah. And for small messages, it's significantly cheaper. Like it's like close to 10 or 20% cheaper. So might as well send it to T099. Any more questions?
I have a quick one, hopefully.
Yeah.
Are there checks that you'd be allowed to try and send the message and it could still go through if it failed?
So no, there are no checks that would fail and the message would still right away land on the chain. Like if the base fee, for example, decreased, yeah, it could after some time, period of time, land on chain. But yeah, we used to have. I've currently disabled it. Had one check which was like, oh, is your message safe to land on check? Which is like, if the base fee is rising at maximum pace in the next 20 blocks, it can still land, but it led to some false positives. So I disabled that check for right now. So ideally, if everything is going okay, right, as my ample is okay right now for this sender address, if I press enter, I don't get any UI. Any more questions? Yeah, it does. Jennifer, it doesn't care. Yeah.
Have we tried this with any folks in the wild, like given this to the MinerX miners or anything like that to see how much they rave over it?
Not really, because the integration path with Lotus, we're still waiting on, like, this is blocked currently on V1 API work in Lotus. So there's currently no clear way to deploy it clearly on Lotus master. Like I could give them a branch, but yeah. Although the integration, as I was told by Magic, should land in either today or late into next week.
Yeah, it's been approved like 2 times already with Magic Use.
No.
But yeah, deep flags that in general the MinerX fellows are happy can be given like custom branches stated. Yeah. So certainly an option, but yeah. Cool. Any other questions? There's a bunch of people saying super cool in the chat. Yeah, I'm sure everyone already acknowledges this, but like the hypotheticals that Kuba was describing are not hypotheticals in terms of, oh, you set the wrong field here and then you get stuck. That's something that's happened over and over again to partners, to PL employees, to Lotus developers. So this is definitely useful. But cool, thanks, Kuba.
I did it myself a few times while using like you don't even do it on purpose but like your max fee default is low enough that like bigger operations like multi-sig operations stop going through, right? So yeah.
Cool. Okay.